Okay.
Hello and welcome to DCP SideQuest episode number 52, the Jumbo PS5 edition.
Wow.
Yeah.
52, but wait, that means we've been doing SideQuest for a whole year.
Yes.
No,
Wow.
no way.
Yeah, 52
We've missed a
52 weeks in a
couple.
year, right?
I'm pretty sure almost every year.
Every year there's 52
Yeah.
weeks.
By having 52 episodes, we've officially done a year's worth of episodes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's correct, right?
We
Yeah.
booked a whole year. It's knocked
Exactly.
into the Twitch archives. A whole year.
Look at
Exactly.
That.
Yeah.
We need a plaque.
We do. Where's our
done did
silver
it.
plaque? Why doesn't Twitch
Exactly.
hand out plaques for, statistical achievements?
They
That's a good
should.
point.
Yeah.
It's true.
YouTube's ahead of the curve. Or just possibly,
That's the first time anybody's ever said that.
or just possibly it's meaningless and no one cares about plaques.
This is also true. I
Yeah.
still have mine in a box. I was like, I'm gonna hang this up. I said that about a year ago, and I'm just like,
52 episodes later, Eric's finally hangs up his plaque.
exactly right. Look at it. Wow. Oh my.
Well,
So, guys, can I ask you guys,
Yes.
how do you feel about the look of the PlayStation 5? Because I feel like besides all the games, even above all the games that were announced and were shown off, the talk of the PlayStation 5 reveal event was the actual look of the console itself, which
hardware.
was surprising.
So here's the thing. To your point, I'm gonna make a guess. Given the way that we align on opinions, that you
Okay.
don't like it.
Me?
You don't like it, do you?
I actually like it. I think it looks
I like
pretty
it
cool.
too.
I think it looks like a 70s, almost like a retro futuristic kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like if somebody were to design something that looked futuristic in 1979, this is what they would have come up with.
That's fair. I agree.
It's a
I like
lava
it. And
lamp
now I'm
of
baffled
consoles.
that we both agree on this is not supposed to happen. We're supposed to be like the judge. Yeah, but I think it's cool. I like it. I think it looks a lot.
here's the thing.
You're right. I changed my mind.
Eric's, it's actually me. I'm the one who's opposing the look of it.
What?
Yeah. I think it's like a cool sci-fi prop that I'm not going to want to have displayed all the time. I'm going to walk in and be like,
That's fair.
that's that damn sci-fi prop.
It's only for
I-
6 or 7 years.
Yeah,
I have-
exactly.
I have zero opinions. When people are like, what did you think? I'm like, I can't even possibly come up with an answer because I simply do not care because I don't remember the last time I've seen my consoles. I don't know when that was. I literally don't see them. I have like a cabinet under the desk that's ventilated
Okay.
and good for,
Thank God it's
for all
ventilated.
console stuff.
Well,
Yeah, it's
exactly.
got vents at the back, vents
Dude,
at the side.
you suffocating your
super
consoles?
ventilation. No.
But here's the
Slow
thing:
death
you
from Watts'
will
console.
see the PS5 because it's so damn big, it might not even fit in your cabinet.
That's okay. So that's
See?
the thing.
Yes.
Did you guys
If I
see
put it that- I
the
don't really care.
comparison image
Okay.
where
Yeah.
what they did is they showed they compared the size of the USB ports and the CD slots, and then compared the size of those so that they were even with other consoles of other generations, and then they sized the size of the PS5 appropriately to other consoles. It is by far the biggest console in recent memory, by a lot.
Hard yikes.
I'm kind of
It's
down for
huge.
it to be this massive
It
contraption
is
on my
like
desk.
PC Tower tool.
Gonna stick out even more. Oh my God.
It's a unit.
Yep. Everyone's gonna be like, everyone's gonna be debating like, oh, how's it gonna fit into my entertainment system? It won't.
No, you're gonna need to
It
get a
won't.
bigger
You know
entertainment
where it's
system.
gonna go? There's a space right over there where there was a nothing. A giant
Yep.
space of desk.
I got it.
Hopefully,
I got
though,
it.
what
Here you
this
go. Here you
means
go.
is
This is what
that
you want to do.
It's gonna have real good cooling, right? It's all that
Put it on
the
space
wall.
is for
For
good
sure.
fans and good cooling.
So here's the idea. If you have a TV mounted on the wall, okay, what you do is you
Yeah.
mount your PS5 directly behind that, so you don't have to see it because it's going to take up half your TV already because it's so damn big, right? So
No,
just
but
put it
let's be
behind the
honest.
TV.
But then you've got your wall-mounted TV, and then out the top of it is going to be the PS5 poking out the top. And you're like,
A little collar.
Every time you
Don't
adjust
put
it,
up.
Oh,
you don't want to
stand
angle the
behind your
TV.
TV with a big collar.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, for me, I think about this stuff as initial impression. It's like, oh, that's going to be cool to get, and then experience the newness of it. But then I think about, well, these things last 5 years, basically. Like the average average lifespan of this is going to be probably like 5 years. So you're going to be with this thing for 5 years, unless of course you rotate to their more streamlined, more less curvy version down the road.
The PS5 Pro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the PS5 Pro is going to be more streamlined and boxy.
Yeah.
2 years down the road.
We got the PS5 Slim to look forward to, the PS5 Pro to look forward to.
We've got
Yeah.
the PS5 X game edition of some game.
That's
Which
right.
will
The
probably look
classic
really
edition,
cool.
which will be all gray.
Yeah. I also think about dust as well. Like there's a lot of curves and divots and little things, and
Yeah.
that thing's gonna catch a lot of dust, just straight up.
All consoles do. They're so hard to clean too.
Yeah.
Clean?
with-
You clean your consoles? I just leave the dust and just forget about it.
Yeah, I don't see
If I
mine.
look
yeah.
at it,
Yeah, I
if
don't
I
know.
look
Yeah,
at it, it's fine.
I agree.
But yeah.
You want to talk about some of the games?
Well, also, I just it's great to finally see the console though. Like I
Yeah.
Yes.
as much as I'm,
We didn't get to see a price though, which I was really disappointed.
they seem to be holding out on that.
Yeah. When are they gonna like stop holding out on that?
Probably until
Yeah.
Day
September.
before launch.
Yeah.
Day before launch. Like they have to announce the price so that we could do pre-orders, right? And then there was that leak. I think it was
It was Play Asia, I believe.
Play Asia.
Had,
That's right.
had pre-orders up. But the thing is that because an actual price hasn't been released, some of these sites do put up pre-orders, but they just go a little bit higher than what the expected price is. So then if it ends up being less, it's much easier to just give people money back than be like, hey, you know how you pay for that console? Could you like give me more
Yeah.
money for
Yeah.
the thing? Because
Right.
it's more expensive. So I think that was like $700.
Yeah,
but I
$699,
wouldn't
yeah.
expect it to be. I wouldn't expect.
But that, I mean, that ignited that. The fact that they did that ignited a firestorm across the internet that said,
Yes,
"Oh my
it
God,
did.
the PlayStation 5 is going to cost $700."
My nephew
back
told
it
my
off.
mom that it was going to cost $1,500, and she was devastated.
Wow.
Whoa.
Was he?
He's
maybe,
11. He's 11. I don't know why he's doing
maybe
that.
he's trying to angle in a thing where suddenly he'd be like, "What? But this PC is $1,200, so it's cheaper. So might as well get the PC."
He's trying to pull some hijinks.
That's what it is.
Or even more so, he's gonna price the PS5 at $1,500, and then when it launches, he'll be like, "Oh, I found a deal where I can get it for $700. It's a bargain." And in actual fact, she'll be like,
Oh, that's
"We'll
actually a
never
good
know."
idea too. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty
Buffer the
smart.
blow. Keep like reducing. Be
Exactly.
like, it's better than before, so might as well buy it.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I wish I had done that with the Neo Geo when I was in school.
Some smart tactics.
Imagine that.
Damn. Yeah.
I mean, the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, they've got to come out with prices relatively soon. Like pre-order dates have got to start. Usually they start around E3, right? Usually the price gets announced at E3, and then you can pretty much start pre-ordering right around E3. So like on that timetable, like it's got to start happening somewhat.
I think
soon.
it for consoles is usually closer towards release. So like I said, August, September type of thing is when they finally
I
start
feel like
actually
they
announcing
almost
price
kind
details.
of wanna- Yeah, I feel like there's always this interesting waiting game as well, because maybe they're holding out because obviously Microsoft have got their next presentation in July where they're showing the first party stuff. I don't know whether they're also going to talk console price, but maybe like one of them doesn't want to be first to market with their price, so then they can be like, it's just it could be that sneaky thing.
Who do you think is going to be the first to blink? Who's going to say it first?
I think Microsoft's going to go first
Yeah.
I think
because they're going to be like, God damn it, we got to pull the trigger. And Sony's like, we could wait until the day it launches. We don't care.
The thing is, I think they would anyway, because like Microsoft, consoles are always like historically sold at a loss anyway. But like, I think Microsoft, in the position they're in anyway, they're kind of just like, we sort of discussed it before. Like they don't actually, they obviously want sales, but they don't care too tough if you don't buy their console because they've got the ecosystem anyway. They're like, well, you can play our games on PC, whatever. Whereas Sony needs you to buy their console.
Yeah.
So I feel like Microsoft could do the power play and be like, we're going to take a loss on this and just like shoot and drop it, be like $500 for the console, like $400, and then the PlayStation like, yikes.
And the rumors are still pretty strong that there's going to be like a lower price version of the Series X as well.
Yeah.
So
That's true,
it may
that's true.
be
Well-
that we get, the Series S and the Series X. The Series S costs, significantly less.
Right.
And that gives people an entry point into the Xbox ecosystem.
Well, so we're officially going to have 2 versions of the PS5, and I'm assuming there's going to be a lower cost model for the no disk drive versus having the disk drive, right? Like,
so I've read a little research on that, though. It's like a disk drive, a Blu-ray disk drive, is not that expensive. It's to part one out, it's around $20. So, like, how much of a discount can they really give on that?
Yeah, true.
It's size though too. Like they adjust isn't it? I'm pretty sure the size is different. It's not just like
it doesn't
thinner,
have the weird, bulge outside.
Mm-hmm.
The
no bulge.
The
Bowie bulge.
I'll take the non-bulge, please.
Yeah.
I want full bulge.
But the PS5 that is pleased to see you.
The pleased to see you edition.
I love it.
Oh dear.
Well, I'm assuming it's going to be somewhat cheaper, like at least $50 cheaper. If it's the same price, I'm gonna feel obligated to have to get the additional feature.
Same.
Right?
Yeah.
And deal with the bulge.
You gotta pay for the bulge.
Right?
Well, I want the bulge because I want to be able to play physical copies of games, right? It's like when new games come out, I like to get the physical copy, and if I don't like the game, then I like to be able to sell it, or if I do love the game, I like to have that physical copy, so my game collection has value to it, as opposed to like a digital collection where, you know, there's no intrinsic value to a digital collection of games, right? Like you can't sell your PS4 that's got 20 digital games on it and expect to get more money because nobody can play them because they don't have your PSN account.
That's why I really like what companies are doing now, where they just sell the collector's edition without the game. So you can kind of have the best of both worlds. You can download it digitally and then also have the collector's edition, which is nice.
That is nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I like having that option.
Yeah, because
I feel like they've run out of good ideas for collector's editions, though.
Just give me a statue. I
Yeah.
love statues. Statues are great.
Run out of statue ideas? Yeah, figurines are great. Yeah, personally, I don't buy physical copies anymore. Not intentionally.
I don't either.
Yeah, I might.
I went through a phase where I didn't, but now I'm back to it because, like, if I don't, like I said before, I like to have the value. I like to have the option to sell it.
I guess from my perspective, it comes from being in PC gaming for so long that, like, I've never thought about reselling my PC games because you can't. Like, once you have the key and all that, or at least I don't think you can.
Well, back in the 90s and early 2000s, PC games were the best physical editions, right? They came with the coolest shit in them, and they weren't collector's editions or special editions. They were just the normal big box version of the game that had like cloth maps. And I remember TIE Fighter had a novelette, I guess you would call it, a novella, like of the story and the characters, which was amazing. Like PC games used to have the best physical editions.
But if you buy the collector's type of stuff, because the regular edition.
No, I'm talking the regular edition. And this is back in like 90s and early 2000s, though. Not anymore. Now they don't even have physical editions.
Yeah. I guess I never even cared about that stuff or paid attention to it because I'd always just get the disc, install it, and then be like, I guess I have to keep this disc for the key or something. And that was annoying to me. And I never thought about reselling that stuff. So for me, like I've been digital ever since it was available to go digital on console games.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like I've definitely I like the physical stuff for collector's purposes, but I definitely kind of have made more of a transition. I don't feel like I would ever be completely digital. I definitely do still pick up like physical copies for games that I like, but I've started kind of almost where I get a digital copy, I'll also just get like a physical one just for myself anyway. There was one time when I used to buy. There was a company that used to just sell empty game boxes, so I would get that, and then I would like print out the cover, so I could just have it for my collection. But yeah,
Do
that's funny.
we want to talk games?
Yeah, let's
talk
games.
about the games. We're not 20 minutes into this podcast. We haven't talked about any of the games. They started off with, what was it?
GTA
Grand Theft Auto 5 Enhanced.
Oh my god!
And they shit
$1 million
right on the
shark
top,
money or whatever.
Top left hand corner, they just show PS4. Hey, look, we started off this PS5 conference with this PS4 footage.
It was a weird choice, but at the same time, it was a nice little, ease into the show. Hey, the show has started. Trailers are happening. Prepare your eyeballs because next we have Spider-Man.
True.
Spider-Man.
That was very exciting.
Yeah, Spider-Man,
Miles,
but it's not a full game, right? Spider-Man.
Oh, it is. Yeah,
it is.
there's a lot of confusion.
It's been confirmed by Insomniac Games that it is the full game. It's a full standalone release game.
It's a full standalone game, but it's like a smaller version of a game, right?
Yeah, I guess you could see it. You could liken it to like Uncharted Lost Legacy, right? So it's
Right.
like it's an experience in and of itself, but it's not. It's obviously still built in the pre-existing game, and it's like so. It's not. Yeah, you won't expect like a full-length campaign like you had before, but it's still like a title that'll. I don't know how long it would be, but it would still kind of give you a chunk of stuff.
Yeah,
So.
there was some confusion because
not a $60 game, right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know the price, but like I know there was some confusion because the Sony executive said it was like a DLC, and they were like, "Whoa, what?"
Yeah,
and that created a ton of confusion. Obviously,
it did. Yeah.
And
But
Insomniac had to clarify.
They did. They came out and said we will reveal more about this standalone game at a future date. So currently we don't know anything about it except we know for sure that it's a standalone game.
Yeah.
I'm really excited that Miles Morales is the star of this.
Hell
movie
yeah.
because I got way into Miles with the Spider-Verse
Such a
movie.
Cool character.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. I hope that I hope that the Miles in the game feels like the Miles in the Spider-Verse movie. Like,
Yeah.
I hope that is closely related.
I also hope the aesthetic and the musical influences also happen in the game as well, like they did, because it was so good. So
It was perfect.
It was good.
Yeah.
I've got a list from game trailers or Tech Raider. I'm gonna go through it. Gran Turismo 7 they showed.
What's your thoughts on that?
I feel like the resolution on the stream, which was 1080p 30 and a really low bit rate, meant that I couldn't even see this game.
Yeah, it's better to go on YouTube and bump it up to the 4K and actually see what it looks like.
Yeah. It looks real good in 4K because I did do that. But on the stream, I was like, this just looks like a blurry mess because the stream quality was so bad.
Gran Turismo is the most visually impressive, boring ass game I have ever seen, right? I like racing games, right? I can appreciate Sims, but Gran Turismo is dry as like sand or like something that Indiana Jones would dig out of the ground. Like it is boring.
Super high detailed lug nuts on those vehicles. God damn.
That's the thing. It's just like it looks incredible. Like the visual stuff that they've done with it, and like, the accuracy you can have. And when they, I know they use it. Like people obviously, all the fans love to be like, "Oh, they use it for driving sims." Like real racers, I don't care if a real racer uses it. Right? Your game's boring. Nobody wants to play Gran Turismo. We just want to look at it. It's like a museum. Look at it.
Play Gran Turismo 7.
While we were watching the stream, everyone in the chat was like, I bet Briar's really excited.
Oh, yeah. That's what I said, too. I was like, Briar's going to be loving this.
I like driving games. Gran Turismo makes really detailed and somewhat dry. I would agree with Eric. They're pretty dry racing games, but they're really detailed. They're really beautiful. And the driving models, each car always feels like you think that car should. Like, obviously, I don't actually get to drive Ferraris every day, but when I drive a Ferrari in a Gran Turismo game, it feels like I expect a Ferrari or a Dodge Viper or a Civic, a Civic to feel. And I think that's what they do so well. Some of the stuff around it, like license tests, can be pretty boring.
I drove a Dodge Viper. Dude, I was scared.
Ooh.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
You feel good, though?
Like when you put it in the race,
it's called a fear erection. That's what they call that.
Playing Gran Turismo is like, the people that kind of go onto GTA and instead of playing GTA like you're supposed to, they like drive up to the traffic lights and they wait at the traffic lights.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's Gran Turismo. That's Gran Turismo for you.
Super realistic.
I want to pretend I have a life outside, okay? Without my own.
That's fair.
Next up on the list was Godfall. We got to see this during the PlayStation show and then again during the PC show. I gotta say, every time I see this game, I keep falling in love with it over and over again. Like I haven't seen anything about this game I don't love.
Yeah, well, I'm way down for Godfall. Just straight up, like I'm going to be playing it. Super excited about it. What they showed on PS5 though was very flat in the tone because like it almost felt like a mobile game the way they were pitching it. With like just kind of. I'm expecting some deep combat type of stuff, and the way they showed that it felt like very slashy,
I get that.
like mobile
Yeah.
slashy.
The PC Gamer Show, I felt like showed the combat a little bit better, but still not super detailed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the one thing they did, because you remember the very first time they announced Godfall, like just in the announcement, there was that like 3-second GIF that just showed like one parry into the thing. That was like the weightiness. I feel like what they wanted to do, they wanted to make like a flashy trailer, so they focused a lot on like the initial kind of cool combos, like flipping swords and stuff. But like there was a few sort of dashes in there. There was a couple of like parry systems, but you didn't like, see it too much. So I feel like they really need to like double down on that. But it looks super cool. My one I wouldn't say worry at this stage. I just say my question at this point, because obviously they describe it as looter slasher. There are, from the information we know, there are 5 weapon types. There's longsword, greatsword, dual swords, polearm, and hammer. And there are 12 valor plates. So valor plates are basically your armor sets. So you see like the lion guy or like the Anubis kind of person. So this is the interesting thing, because obviously it's a loot-based game, and we're used to for loot stuff to think, all right, you get weapons and you get armor and you get gear, and we don't know what the loot structure is in the game. But the way they phrased it, I almost get the impression that the loot is just the weapons, but not the gear, because the valor plates are apparently unlocked in the game versus looted. So I wonder. So that then begs the question: is like, oh, are we going to be in a position where you play through the game and you go through a series of stuff and you unlock like valor plates, and then once you've unlocked them, because the valor plates will then give you different abilities. So see them, I guess, as like classes. So then I'm just like, well, does that mean that the loot game is going to be largely speaking just weapons? I mean, this is all questions. I don't know the answer to this, but yeah.
Well, hopefully we won't have to buy stuff at like an in-game store or something.
I don't think. Yeah,
I wouldn't think so, but it is interesting to think. So if we look at Borderlands, right, you are earning largely weapons. If they have enough weapons for us to go after, but I would say that maybe with swords and hammers and stuff, maybe you have slightly less you can do or more you can do. I don't know, because we haven't seen someone kind of tackle this within this type of game before. But I can definitely see where a concern would be, where it's like, so what am I actually going to be looting?
And it could actually go down the Division route too, of like gear chase, where it's largely stat based as opposed to interesting weapon variety. Yeah.
It's probably in their best interest to get out there ahead of this before people start describing it as what their dream game is. Because I could see, like, well, it's Dark Souls combat with Destiny loot structure, and like, whoa, hold on there, cowboy.
Yeah, like,
Oddworld Soulstorm, so the latest Oddworld game with Abe in it.
Pretty crazy.
I forgot about that.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. I forgot about that game, and that was a dark trailer, but
it sure was.
It was.
I believe the originals are pretty dark as well, so
they are.
Yeah, but not so gory. At least I don't remember them being so gory. Honestly, to me, Oddworld has always been one of those games that I love from afar. Like, I don't find them particularly enjoyable to play because I don't like puzzle platformers that much. But I've always loved like the look of them, and like I'll watch a walkthrough or a playthrough on YouTube or Twitch because I love everything about them except for actually playing them.
Interesting.
Resident Evil 8, The Village
looks very spooky.
Yeah.
I was watching it and I was like, ooh, Resident Evil, you getting real spooky.
I had no idea it was Resident Evil until the end. That was
I
big
didn't.
shock.
I thought it was some other horror game because it looked so much. I don't know. It looked like more Outlasty in terms of its scary factor.
Yeah, that's actually what I picked up too. Outlast.
Yeah, so I was surprised, and we also got to see Chris at the end, looking very different.
Yeah. I was happy that it was a first-person game, and it stars Ethan from Resident Evil 7 again.
Yep.
So it seems to be like a continuation of Resident Evil 7, which I'm really excited about because I loved Resident Evil 7.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was also first-person. So it's interesting seeing them going down this evolution of that. Yeah, that's a instant buy for me. I can't wait to play it. I don't necessarily know if it's gonna be like as good as Resident Evil 7 based off that trailer. Like, there's still a lot of question marks as to pacing and how it's going to feel, and like, are they going to stick the landing with it? But from what I've played of all the stuff so far, like I'm way down for the journey, even with the flaws that show up with it. Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's going to be a VR support again, because Resident Evil 7 in VR was pretty great. Next up, Demon Souls. We got to see.
Oh my god,
Demon's Souls.
And this is a remake, not just a remaster.
Full-on remake. Holy smokes, it's a remake. That doesn't look anything like the original.
Nope.
Well, apparently the studio behind it are calling it a re-envisioning.
That makes sense.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Because they
Even better.
Yeah.
How about a reissue?
hey, a big issue. But they because they likened apparently when the studio when they did Shadow of Colossus, they called that like a remake, and they were like, if that's a remake, then we call our next project almost a re-envisioning because of the scope of what they're doing. So apparently there's going to be, because all I saw online was that like there's some new fractured mode that you can apparently play through. There's no details on it, but apparently there's like a fractured mode for the game as well.
Wow. So I've never played Demon Souls on PS3. I've been close to buying a PS3 to play it because I am a fan of the franchise that style, and that is technically the first one that started out the Souls games. But I kept on saying, I think they're going to remaster it. I'm going to wait. I'm holding my guns. I don't want an awkward PS3 sitting off in the corner, taking up its clam shape, No thanks. I don't want to do that. And I finally in 2020 it's paying off.
It's
there
happening.
Do we have a date for it, or a window? Not a date, but do we have a window for it yet, or is that super early still?
Yeah, it's probably next year.
I don't think we got a date for it. Maybe was that one of the 2021 ones?
I don't think they announced
I feel like it probably will be.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did they not even say?
But they seem to be doing this like March, April type of target for these things.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Very excited though.
Project Athia.
Yeah.
Always dangerous having a project in front of a name. That game may never actually show up as anything.
this game. So we saw like a tiny bit of gameplay within the trailer is like 1 minute 20 seconds long. Some of those seconds taken up by Square Enix PlayStation. So it's pretty short. But I think this was a game where I watched it and really thought, holy crap, this looks next gen. Because the movement looked so fluid, and seeing like this big eyeball monster come out of the ground looked really cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know a good damn thing about it. But
yeah, this is a teaser trailer to the max, right?
It is, yeah.
Very unlikely that there's any gameplay in that at all. Like it seems like a concept at this point.
True. I mean, they did put in those segments which I guess are designed to look like gameplay, when the character runs and jumps onto the cliff thing, when there's like the part where they're fighting the enemies, when they like envelops it with the vines. But I know what you mean. They are obviously very carefully placed. I mean, they could have been gameplay, but they could
have anthemed it.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Solar Ash was another one. I didn't see this one coming at all, but I really dug on the art style.
Yes. I love this
Who was
kind
that
of
one
art
again?
style.
This was Heart Machine's follow-up to the lauded and tough Hyperlight Light Drifter.
Oh,
yeah, Hyperlight Drifter, but in like third person.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was just
really cool.
It caught my eye because it was really beautiful. I love this kind of art style.
Yeah, they really like lovingly crafted Hyperlight Drifter as well. So I'm way down to see what they're doing next.
Oh, and the movement looked so good. This was one where I was like, holy crap. You can like feel the fluidity of the movement just from watching the trailer.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I forgot that one.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was one of the first games they showed. And I think it's the first time that I've been convinced of kind of the power of the next gen.
Yep.
Yes.
Like it was an impressive demo.
It was.
Yeah. It wasn't until then where I was like, okay, I get it. Yep. SSD drives, M2 drives are going to change the way games are going to be played in the future. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That visual effect when it kind of goes through like the fracture and you just like literally zips into a completely different environment. I was like, that blew my mind. Every time he did it, I was like, go again.
Yeah.
Tech demo again. Do it again. Load those polygons. Come on, do it.
This blew me
That
away.
game looks phenomenal. Sackboy: A Big
Imagine-
Adventure didn't look very
Imagine
good.
a Spider-Verse game, like an actual Spider-Verse game being created with that tech.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
That.
Yes.
That's what I'm
Makes-
talking about. Yes.
This was the game at the showing where I was like, you have shown me what could be possible
Hold
from
up.
future games.
Are they the same companies? Insomniac?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe they are going to be doing some crazy Spider-Verse stuff.
Ooh, now you're getting me excited. Okay.
I
No, just
can't
be like,
wait.
Control C.
What do I
Control V.
pre-order?
Yeah. I'll have it now.
Sackboy: A Big Adventure. This looks like it's not going to be like a builders kind of thing. It looks like it's just going to be a 3D adventure starring Sackboy.
It's like Little
Yeah.
Big Planet. Yeah, it looks fun.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
I thought it looked kind of blah.
I think they're trying to. Yeah.
Knock off
I
Mario?
generally like Little Big Planet stuff.
Yeah.
I never played it.
People were hoping to see Little Big Planet 4, but instead they showed off Sackboy.
I've always been in
thought
love
they
with
led with
Little
the
Big
Sackboy.
Planet as a concept, but the problem has always been that actual Sackboy controls like crap. He's always controlled like crap. He doesn't jump right. He doesn't control right. So like no matter how cool you make a level, the game's never that much fun.
Well, he's a sack.
Fair.
Right?
This is true. But yeah, I feel like it's not going to have the building component because I feel like the fact they led with the name Sackboy's Adventure as opposed to Little Big Planet, I feel like they're just trying to lean on the fact that Sackboy's fast become like a Sony mascot. So they're like, oh, let's just shovel him in as like a Mario kind of thing. So yeah.
Although, where the hell's Knack 3? Talk about a Sony mascot, right?
I know. Unacceptable.
Yeah. Probably the biggest failing ever of 2020.
You're gonna call upon yourself the wrath of Cerny.
Sure. I might not even buy the PS5
Mark
now.
Cerny's going to rain teraflops down on you.
True. Oh my goodness. What the hell?
NBA 2K21 was shown. Very sweaty in-game character that clearly was a render, frankly.
Well, they said everything was
They
in
didn't even
engine.
show any gameplay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no gameplay.
Game engine. Yeah.
Hmm.
It didn't even look like the guy that much, I didn't think. It's kind of funny.
That's funny.
Destruction All-Stars, Destruction Derby games.
That actually looked really cool.
It did look
Yeah.
interesting. I like the character design a lot.
Yeah, character design was cool. And it's like I'm not really like I'm not a fussed on like the Destruction Derby angle, but it was more the fact that it was like okay, it's Destruction Derby, but then you can get out the car and a dude fly kicked someone into a car. I was like, I'm there, I'm playing it. It's gonna be awesome.
Reminded me of like
looked
Twisted
cool.
Metal.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like less horror and more kind of fun.
Yeah.
yeah, and
I mean, Twisted
definitely
Metal
better.
got kind of dark there on the
Yeah,
later franchises.
Sure did.
Later entries, yeah.
Deathloop looked pretty
Deathloop.
interesting.
It's an interesting concept. So it's about you play as Colt, and you are basically experiencing a nightmarish Groundhog Day situation.
Yeah.
The concept's definitely interesting. From looking at the shooting, to me, it didn't look like it would feel good to shoot the guns. I didn't
Really?
get like a.
Was this the
I don't
Bethesda
know.
game?
This is Arcane.
Oh wait,
yeah.
it is Arcane.
Yeah,
It is
Arcane Bethesda. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. I had the same feeling once where I was like, gun shoots.
I saw
don't
the shooting
look
and I was
satisfying.
like, obviously I haven't played it, so it's hard to say. But just looking at it, it didn't look like the shooting would be super satisfying. But the concept's interesting, so I'd want to try it out.
It looks secondary to the concept of the Deathloop thing. They had some really cool reload animations. I remember that. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
They did, yeah.
These guys don't they make like games like Prey and stuff like that, right? Where
Yeah,
Yeah, and
it's
Dishonored.
less about shooting, it's more about like exploring and world building and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, it gave me Dishonored vibes big time. So
Stray, which was the
Yes.
cat game.
Yes.
yes.
Yes,
I remember
indeed.
that one as well.
You remember
Absolutely.
Stray? Eric's?
I must have fallen asleep during this presentation. At some point.
There was some more information put about Stray on the on Steam. So it says that Stray is a third-person cat adventure game set amidst the detailed neon-lit alleys of a decaying cyber city and the murky environments of its seedy underbelly.
That sounds amazing.
You get to be a cat and go run around doing stuff.
Yeah, but you got
no human.
You got a cat pack, you know? The back.
You have a cat pack.
Like,
you know what I was
what's in the
saying? I was
pack?
like, I hope that this is Death Stranding minus any fighting at all, but I'm a cat and I'm making delivery.
You're a courier through a digital cyborg city. It's a cat.
That's all I want.
Amazing.
I thought I was not interested in this game until Watt said that, and now I'm really not interested in this game.
But it appears it's an adventure game. It's a third-person RPG adventure.
So my takeaway from that on watching that trailer was, wow, the renderings on like the cat and the animations and like the attention to detail in the environment really blew me away. And I hope the game's good. It could totally fall flat and be like, what am I doing? I hope not. I hope it's like an interesting game that has a lot of cool puzzles that are fun. And yeah, I want to check it out.
Along the way, your cat befriends a drone called B12.
B12? Gotta get your B12.
B12.
It's important.
Gotta get your B12.
Yeah.
B12 robot. Same thing.
Goodbye, Volcano High.
This looked like it was going to be something like a Life is Strange kind of, or, Telltale Games type of video game. It's dinos in a high school.
Yeah.
Before the
that one.
meteor.
That was really weird.
I mean,
That looks
so
weird.
on the logo, it's got a meteor hitting, and they're dinosaurs. So I don't know if this is
Not
like.
looking good.
But they're going to college. They're applying for college,
I don't
and
know
a
what-
meteor is hitting. I think I pulled an Eric's on that one where I basically tuned out and was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Rectanal. Wow, looks pretty interesting.
Yep.
Is there any more information about it? So Returnal is a terrible name. It's real bad.
Sackboy and Rectangle. Wow.
It looks
The game
like,
itself looked cool. It's another time
Yeah.
looping game, right? Where you're trying to get yourself off of this planet. The graphics are really cool. I like that the main character isn't like a hypersexualized woman for a change. Like everything about it looked cool until the name. I was just like, whoa, that's a bad name.
it
but I
looks like
fixed it.
it's a third-person shooter roguelike game that I found really interesting when I was watching it, because I was like, if this is a game that really plays on the fact that in video games you respawn, I kind of really dig that your character is experiencing the effects of you dying and respawning. Because it looks like you're stuck on this alien planet and it's a roguelike. So when you die, it looks like the world changes every time you come back. And she's
Right.
trying to like beat the loop or something. So the concept's really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
Yeah. Bug Snacks, the best theme song of
Game of the year.
Game of the year. I think we can all
Bug
just
Snacks.
assume
Bug snacks.
that it was just
I just-
fucking bizarro, right? It's like you're eating bugs and then you turn into that bug, and
And then your buddy
the
wants to
theme
eat
song,
bugs,
it's
and
just so weird.
Find them hiding in the sand.
the strawberries were like,
Genuinely don't
strawberries,
remember the
strawberries,
Bugs Bunny
strawberries.
song at all.
Strawberry, strawberry.
and they just
Yeah,
ate 'em.
the fruits seem alive and conscious of their, they seem aware of their
sentient.
life, sentient. But then you just like eat them without a care in the world, a big grin on your face, and then like your finger turns into what you just ate. And
It is
like,
a story
no biggie.
of literally becoming what you eat until someone eats you and then they become you.
Fair enough.
Cannibalism, the video game.
I'm watching though. You got my attention. Hitman 3, I'm very excited about.
Yes. I love Hitman.
There better be a briefcase.
Hitman 1 and 2 were both amazing games. I didn't play as much Hitman 2 as I expected I would, but Hitman on a new console generation, very excited to see what they come up with.
Yes.
Looking for new and inventive ways of murdering,
Yeah,
hijinks.
telling you, there better be a briefcase that has auto targeting and homing around the corner.
I would agree.
Otherwise,
I
I'll
would
be
agree
This
with that.
briefcase
disappointed.
that you could open up and go into another dimension, a la like
Into
Ratchet
the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank and Spider-Verse.
Ghostwire Tokyo.
Hold up.
Anybody?
Wait, actually, hold up. On Hitman, I did want to point out though, they showed the beginning cinematic, and I was like, "Whoa!" And then we saw some gameplay, and I was like, "That looks more like gameplay."
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Ghostwire Tokyo. Anybody excited about this one?
Yeah, I was a little surprised by the gameplay. I think when they announced it, I was thinking it might be a third-person game, but it is a first-person game, it looks like. And it's set in Tokyo, where 99% of the population has just been disappeared, and now there's just
Caught up in the rapture.
creepy ass spirits. So it's a spooky game. It's a paranormal game. I don't really know what it's about necessarily.
This is the one
It
where
looks Japanese AF.
it's in
You
Tokyo.
have to defend the city against the forces of the paranormal.
This is the one where the art director, she quit and moved over to
Correct.
Bethesda, right? Or no, maybe this is Bethesda. I don't remember. But it seems like there's some stuff that went on with this, and maybe some conflicting opinions about who was in charge, about where it was going. And I kind of picked that up in the trailer, because it seems like the direction had been pulled in a lot of different ways. And I think it showed like the same enemy a few times being fought in a short trailer. And I was kind of like,
It kind of came across as well in the feeling that when I first saw the trailer for Ghostwire Tokyo, I was like, oh wow. And I thought it was like this third person kind of, you're this ninja in this paranormal cyber place taking on spirits. And then it was like, oh, now it kind of looks like it's a Skyrim-y looking game, which is not what I expected.
yeah.
Not what I expected.
Yeah, that I don't know if I'm gonna play that. I need to see more. Right now,
I'll definitely check it out.
Right now, it's flagged as a caution type of game for me right now.
Yeah, totally. Jet the Far Shore. This was the one that kind of had that, I don't know, 2001 vibe to it. A little bit of
This
a
is the one I
No Man's
had
Sky
no idea
vibe.
what the hell was happening, but there was a lot of flying.
Yeah, that's
I don't remember
fair.
this either. I definitely must have been asleep for half of this show, because I don't remember half these games.
Like I got to see more of this to get excited about it. Kina Bridge of the Spirits.
I'm
Yes.
super excited about this game.
Wait, which
This
one was
game
this again?
looks like it's the one with the little cute spirits that are.
Oh yeah, that was adorable.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, this looked adorable.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like a Pixar movie, but you're playing it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
absurd.
The lighting
Style
was
is
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
The visual,
That's
the
the
style,
thing.
and lighting. Yeah.
Yeah, so that studio, Ember Lab. Do you remember the Majora's Mask animation that people did like a while ago? There was a studio that did like this really like amazing Majora's Mask kind of short 3-minute fan film.
No.
And like the animation, I'll get a link for it afterwards. But the animation quality for it is absolutely incredible. In fact, I'll put it up in the background at the same time. And that studio that did the animation is the studio behind this game. So it's no wonder that there's So they are like huge Zelda fans. So obviously there'll be like that kind of inspiration that makes it into the game.
That's cool.
But yeah, it looks. It's funny. I was saying to someone the other day that the like whenever I watch these kind of presentations, like these sort of ones, like a lot of the time I get super excited, but a lot of the time a lot of that excitement is like internal, and I very rarely kind of like have outbursts, if you see what I mean. But when I was watching the Kina stuff, the second it switched to the point where the character's walking through the village, like uncontrollably, I was just sitting in Discord with my friends. I was like, wow. It was the first time that I actually said it out loud. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Yeah. This and Ratchet and Clank both kind of, they showed me like what we can look forward to. Like I got really excited about both of these games.
Yeah.
Just visually.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree. When it comes to realism, I'm less interested in games looking more realistic, and I'm more interested in fantasy games being more like
Fantasy.
yeah, with the detail fantasy, like the movie effect type of feel becoming more streamlined for games.
I mean, this looks like Pixar animation, right? It's like it looks like feature film animation.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It is insane. Yeah, the link that I dropped in chat for other people if they want to check it out, that's the Majora's Mask thing that studio did. It's definitely well worth a check.
Little Devil Inside. This is the one that had kind of like it kept switching between scenes of like an adventurer and like an old man going about his day. And like it's a little unclear like what you're going to be doing in this game, what the gameplay is going to be like, but it was a really charming trailer.
So this game was first shown 5 years ago, I believe.
Whoa.
So it's been in production for like 7 years. And they said that they took a lot of inspiration from Breath of the Wild and like just those kind of games, right? So it was originally slated to come out in June 2016. So we are significantly later than that. But it's like an open world action RPG. Again, the art style is really what gets me, and like I'm the same with Tefty. I don't want to see things be super hyper realistic. I like having these stylized looks look even better.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, the cool thing about that one because it was actually originally supposed to come out on Wii U as well, like you know, as alongside like Wii U, PS4, Xbox, and whatnot. But then obviously the massive delays have now pushed it. It's now timed exclusive on PS5, and then it will later on be on PC. No, sorry, it's timed exclusive on PS5 and will be on PC, and then later it will go to other platforms. But yeah, it's definitely it's kind of got that action vibe. But you'll basically go around the world, and you have there's survival aspects to the game as well. So you have like your combat stuff, but then you're also out there doing missions with like people around the world. You have to there's a lot of like preparation ahead of time, so that when you go into encounters and stuff, there'll be there's the weather. The weather will obviously kind of have an effect on what you're doing. And then it's kind of like this interesting. You can kind of like hire people to work on your team as well, but it's this kind of interesting sort of blend of survival and combat stuff. But again with the visual style, like it's weird. Although it wasn't quite that look, it almost gave me that semi like Aardman look to it. The sort of Wallace and Gromit clay kind of feel.
Yeah.
So
So that's cool.
Astro's Playroom. I wouldn't call this a sequel to Astro the VR game. God, I forgot what that's called now. But I think that's one of the best 3D platformers I've ever played. And the fact that this is now they're making something similar but not in VR that more people can enjoy, I think is actually pretty exciting because they made, I think, the best VR game I've ever played. And one of the best 3D platformers I've ever played.
Wow.
But it was locked behind, the VR wall, right? So people, people who played it praised it profusely, but, you can only play it in VR. So to get Astro out from behind VR, I think is really smart because they made a fantastic 3D platform. The best, maybe since Mario 64.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
Pragmata.
Which one was this again?
This was the like spaceman in the spacesuit, and then there was
Death
that
Stranding,
little girl
but in the future
went to
again.
space.
Oh yeah.
The Death Stranding. Yeah. Capcom's new game, right? The
Capcom. Yeah.
They just nabbed. They said to Kojima, they're like, "Yo, can we borrow your Luden's character model real quick? Like, we just need him for a trailer. We'll give him back soon." I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, don't worry. And then
It's coming in 2022, so we've got a while, and we don't know anything. This is just an announcement of this game exists.
There was also the X-Ray Cat too, right? So X-Ray Cat Buddy, or maybe it was just for that scene. Don't know, because he did that interdimensional scanning thing, which was scanning another reality. I take it, and then this cat scan showed up, walking around, and then some time rift dimensional thing. They had to go. Yeah, it looked like a trip. I'm interested.
Yeah. Trip to the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what did you guys think about the conference, like as a whole?
Whoa.
Horizon.
Oh wow, that's not on this list. How weird.
Oh, what a rubbish list. Games Radar, what are you doing?
That list.
Oh, yeah, it is. I just missed it for some reason. It was right after Godfall.
Skipped Horizon. Oh, my God. Okay, so Horizon, wow. Yes. All the yeses. More. I can't wait. Like, the biomes look massive. What they were showing from that looked like way more interactivity with the environment, too, which I'm hoping that's just not fluff. I'm hoping it's actual more interactivity with the environment. And I can't wait to see the new mechanized creatures that they've made, like the giant elephant. So cool.
Elephant.
The turtle as well looked really cool.
Yes. Oh man,
turtle did look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn looked fantastic. This looks way more fantastic.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
just visually.
Yep.
I'm wondering what they're going to do for story wise, because I know Tefty, you disagree with me harshly on this, but I feel like they wrapped up the story pretty well in Zero Dawn. Like we found out where Alloy came from. We found out what happened to the planet, and that's kind of what I was there for. So I'm interested to see what they'll do for it.
You didn't care about Lance Riddick being like, well, time to go cause more havoc?
I did not give a shit about Lance Reddick, nor any other side character in that game. That game had the worst
side character?
Side quest. It had the worst side quest I think I've ever played. Like, I've never mainlined a story like I did in Horizon Zero Dawn as hard as I did in that.
Bro, I feel like you didn't actually finish it, man, because it left on a cliffhanger.
Well, I know what happened to Alloy. So how could I not have finished it if I know what happened to Alloy?
Well, it's because the first part is Alloy and her story, and then continuing, it's the environment and what's actually happening with the corruption and why Lance Riddick is actually doing what he's doing. I can't remember his character, the name, but that's why I keep calling him Lance Riddick. But it definitely ended in a way where it was like, oh man, I can't wait to see the next part.
To me, it was kind of like Last of Us, where it ended in such a way where, like, I was like, well, that's good. Like, that's a good story. It's all like, it's a good, well-contained story, right? Last of Us definitely had questions at the end, but there were questions. Sometimes the questions are better not answered. You know what I mean? So,
did you pick up the lore bits around, or did you just ignore all that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I went hard on the main quest. Hard. Well, I was really interested in what was going on.
There was a bunch of stuff you could unlock around the regions, though, that filled out your kit and unlocked other things. And they also shared a bunch of world building lore knowledge that happened around the time, like what created the circumstances. And it was really fascinating. And apparently Silas, I think, was the name of Lance Riddick.
Yeah.
They connected in a way that by the end I was like, I can't wait to see what happens. So yeah, I'm really surprised that you felt like it was completely buttoned up.
Yeah, I am looking forward to the next one. And it looks like, graphically, it looks amazing. The gameplay of the game was super fun. Alloy was a fun character. So I am like looking forward to it, but on the other hand, it would have been fun to see what they could have done next, if they weren't tied to a franchise.
I'm all in for Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Can't wait.
Yeah. I'm going to play it for sure. I thought after Last of Us was done that I'm like, I could see myself in a world where they release Last of Us 2 and I'm just not interested in playing it. Like my story of those characters is done. But now Last of Us is coming out on Friday. Last of Us 2 is coming out Friday. And I'm definitely looking forward to playing. Although mentally, I don't know if I'm ready to. I don't know if I'm like in a state mentally where I'm ready to jump into that world.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel the same because of the world events and all that. And that's already going to be a super heavy game. And I don't know if I want the entertainment to be that heavy as well right now.
It was interesting. I was looking at The Last of Us 2 and how there's a lot of just human on human close-up violence, and I was like, oh man, the closer we get to things being realistic, I don't think I'm gonna want to play these games because I don't want to actually kill a human and see the person dying realistically.
Yeah. It's dark.
It is dark.
Yeah.
It's a very dark game.
Yep.
So what did you guys think about the event as a whole? Like, were you pretty enthusiastic?
Oh, I loved it.
Did you think it could have gone better? Not enough gameplay, not enough dates, not enough prices.
So we had gameplay for a lot of the games, which is really nice. The Ratchet and Clank had like a big gameplay section, which was awesome. And I love that it was just like, here's a game, here's another game, here's someone talking for just like a minute, here's a game. And that's how I love these to be, because it's kind of just hype the whole way through. And there were a lot of games that I didn't know about or that were just kind of shown to us for the first time that I'm really interested in, which was great.
Yeah. Overall, I was. Oh no, go for it, Eric. Yeah.
No, you go first. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, overall, I feel like it was great. I enjoyed it. There was definitely a few games where I was like, huh, why? Oh well. Like, in fact, a lot of times when they showed one of those games, I was like, why are you showing this? I was then thinking, you better show the freaking console. If you showed this, you better show the console. I swear to God. But they showed the console. I felt like it was really well produced, and it was about an hour long, right? So hour-ish long. So everything packed in there felt exciting, and I didn't feel like a lot of dead time was in there. I'm glad I watched it live.
Yeah. I think it's for me. It felt like, because in this time period where it would have been E3, right? We're in that kind of same we're in the same sort of window where like it would have been. We've had other streams that have happened. We had like Microsoft's one, and we had a few other things like that, but they felt more just like streams that we watched, that we enjoyed.
Yeah.
Whereas this is the first thing that I sat down, and because I was sitting in like a Discord party with some friends watching it, I was like, it actually felt like an E3 experience. I think it's the first thing we've had this year that's actually been like, this feels like I'm at E3 right now.
Nice, yeah.
So that's what I enjoyed most about it. So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, the caliber was there for an E3 feeling event, and I'm really happy they did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought like when the whole show was over, I looked at my watch, and I think the end runtime was like an hour and 15 minutes. I'm like, wow, I can't believe it's been an hour and 15 minutes. That went really fast, because there weren't. I think that maybe there were two things that I wasn't interested in playing. And one of those was Bug Snacks, but I still was enthralled by the
DCP Bug Snacks karaoke. Coming to a charity stream near
Bug
you.
Snacks. Bug Snacks. Bug Snacks.
And then they finally showed off the console, which I thought was a good reveal at the very end. It was boom, boom, boom the whole way through, showing gameplay. We got dates that were nebulous. Like some of the games are coming out this year, very few of them. Some of the games are coming out next year. Some of the games didn't get dates at all.
Horizon Zero Dawn was one of those where I was like, right? They didn't put any date at all, no year.
I don't think they put a date on that one. Yeah.
I was really hoping it was going to be a console launch, and maybe they don't want to say it yet. Maybe I can still dream about it being a console launch.
I know Horizon Zero Dawn console.
Oh. Yeah, true.
I would buy that.
I want that.
Like you got to think it's hard to put a date on a game right now, right? Like with everything being up in the air like it is.
True.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, I didn't think about that. Also, maybe that's part of why they're holding their cards close as to pricing and release dates and all that for everything.
Yeah. Because I guess for a lot of companies, well, they like doing that. I mean, I know obviously like games have released in this time and they've done things like that, but like a lot of companies, especially for like big IPs that people are really attached to. I know they couldn't do it for Last of Us, but like Horizon or like other games like that, people have got attachments to. Like companies like to do fancy events. They want to do their launch events. They want to do their PR events. They want to do all their kind of like all the special song and dance stuff. And I mean, I know at the end of the day, like the consumer really once you put that to one side, they just want to play your game. So from like a consumer point of view, it's not hugely impactful. But I can definitely see like if a studio's worked so hard on it, part of that song and dance is like, oh, we finally finished. We're gonna have a big get together and like a nice launch event. I get to see all the fans being so happy about it. But so I can understand them potentially wanting to kind of push it back a little bit. But it's
sure.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
I know that I'm definitely, assuming that the price is reasonable, I'm definitely going to want to pre-order this thing because I got to assume that, it's going to go out of stock and then be one of those consoles that's hard to find. Like I just, I have to assume that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Do we want to briefly talk about the PC game show? I know we're running out of time. I know Watts has a game she wants to talk about. I've got a game I want to talk about.
Let's hear it.
I can give the game that I've played until next week. That's totally fine.
Okay.
But there was a game that was shown at the PC gaming show that I'm interested in, which is called Mortal Shell. So this is a game that is going to have a beta later this month, but it is launching in 2021.
Okay.
And it's kind of like a Souls type of game. So it's listed on Steam as a Souls-like dark fantasy RPG. And what they say about it is that it's a deep action RPG that tests your sanity and resilience in a shattered world. And if you look at any gameplay of it visually it looks really cool. I think that the visuals of it look really awesome. And it's a Souls-like kind of game, which I'm all about. So definitely looking forward to this one. Super hoping I can play the beta. So I'd love to see what it's like.
Do we have any details on like, is it like an open beta or is it like a invite only kind of thing?
We don't know yet.
Right.
Not sure yet.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll know soon.
Are there any
so
unique? Okay.
Go ahead.
No, sorry. I was going to say for that. Were there any kind of like unique
PC Gamer Show.
elements to the to the because a lot of the, like those games that kind of do those sort of Souls-like things, like they often the kind of core foundation is often the same, like that kind of loop. But like, was there anything they said that sort of stands out as like unique to their game, or is it more just like?
So from looking at the trailer during fights, it kind of looks like there's some interesting abilities that you can get. Like I saw this kind of teleport type dodge, which, you know, it could be something as simple as what these games have done before, where it's like, if your armor is really, really light, you can do this like teleporty dodge and not an ability. Hard to say, but it does kind of look like there are some abilities for you to use. There's one instance where your character gets slashed and he like turns into ash, but there's still another version of your character standing there. So you seem to have like this kind of ash character that you can control, which is
cool.
Interesting. So yeah, there were some interesting things. I think visually it looked really impressive. So and this is by Cold Symmetry is the name of the developer.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any other highlights for PC Gamer Show?
Man, I'll tell you, a highlight of the PC Gamer Show was not watching the PC Gamer Show. It was
rough.
The worst show I've ever seen in my entire life. I watched the whole thing. I want to say it was 4 hours long, but there was probably an hour worth of game content in there. That's an exaggeration. There was two presenters, and then they had this like fake robot presenter.
Yes.
And they were, I don't want to insult these people. It was just awful, though. It was like the jokes weren't landing. They weren't funny. Like they did some interviews of developers, which some of them were good, some of them were not good. Like it was like compared to the PS4 show where they just went game.
Mm-hmm.
This was like bad joke, cringy, like guy sitting on a chair with like a smoking jacket on for way too long. Weird like background green screen stuff. Like it was just man, it was long.
Well,
and then like go ahead.
I was gonna say what were the actual highlights then out of it? Aside,
I think
there were some games.
There were some games, a lot of like survival games.
So
with,
there
like,
is a game
graphics
that we would be interested in, which is a DLC that was talked about, which is the Remnant from the Ashes Subject 2923.
Ooh, another DLC for that?
It continues the story of fighting against the rot. And this one looks to be a little bit bigger from what I was looking at the trailer than their previous one. It looks like this is almost, instead of just making one area bigger, it looks like this might be a continuation of the story.
Okay.
A little bit more so. But yeah, I was really interested in that DLC.
That's great. It's going to be 1 year old or 1 year since it came out in August. So I wonder if they're going to try to like time it with the release, or maybe it's coming out sooner.
That'd
I don't know.
Cool.
I think it did say August for a release date. Actually,
it may have. Yeah.
Nice. That's great.
But this brings a new enemy for us to fight, like a new boss and
cool,
a new bad guy.
I didn't get a chance to jump into the new DLC that happened a month or two ago for that. So
it might be good just to do both at once, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how long the first one is. I didn't get the impression that it's super long.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be good to just jump into both.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so there was Outlast Trials, which is where you can play with your friends playing Outlast. So I'm sensing a DCP gameplay.
All right,
we can be terrified together. That'll be great.
Briar, stop using the batteries. Come on, Briar.
There was a game called The Last Campfire, which is, we've seen it before, but this was the adventure game from the team behind No Man's Sky. So visually looks really awesome. Tarkov, Escape from Tarkov's getting a new map.
Okay, yeah. So like updates and stuff to various games. Yeah.
There was Surgeon Simulator 2.
Golden.
Cool.
I don't know if there was
Golden for Steam was announced.
Right.
Oh, actually, you know what?
It was
So I
hard
think-
to get excited about any games because the fucking presentation was so goddamn bad. Like it was really bad.
I would prefer. That's why less talking, more game showing. So there was another game that I've heard about that I didn't know they talked about on the PC Gaming Show because I didn't watch all of it. But it's called Metal Hellsinger, which is the rhythmic FPS game. So if you check out, you really need to check out a trailer of this to truly appreciate it. But it's you're fighting forces of hell with a heavy metal soundtrack, and your gun shoots to the beat, and like your actions all happen to the beat of all of the songs. So it's I'm totally down. It's like you're
that game
playing
didn't show well because
Montage, the video
they were
game.
using a shotgun that seemed to just be reloading, and he was firing as fast as he can. Like the fact that it was set to a beat was just kind of secondary. It did not. He didn't. That demo was not very like convincing if that would be fun.
Wow.
Yeah. I
The
heard the
trailer
trailer like did a really good job, but yeah, then the actual demo was just a bit like, wah.
Yeah.
Funny. All right. Well, it sounds like if you watch PS5 conference, that was the one to watch.
Yeah.
Correct.
Get the highlights on the PC Gamer one. Yeah.
I got to tell you guys about a game I'm playing right now that is fucking phenomenal.
Okay.
It's called Huntdown. It's available for PC and Switch right now. It's a side-scrolling action platformer that imagine if you took every like 80s action movie and plumbed it all up into like one magnificent like Terminator, Blade Runner. Oh man, just everything from the 80s that was like futuristic and awesome video game with like violence and RoboCop versus Terminator, but modern. It's fucking amazing.
Nice.
It is dripping with style from the 1980s in a way that I haven't seen in a long time.
When did it come out?
I believe it just came out like this weekend.
Oh, nice. It's a new game. Nice.
It's a cheap game, $20 side-scrolling action platformer. You play, you get to choose between 3 characters. Each of the character has a different starting weapon and starting sub-weapon. So like one of the characters has like kind of like an automatic pistol and can throw an axe. One of the character has like a big hand cannon and can throw a boomerang, like stuff like that. Everybody's got kind of like a dodge maneuver. And then you just go into these levels. So you get 4 big areas, and each area is broken up into smallish sub levels with a boss at the end. So you'll spend like maybe 5 to 10 minutes going through to the boss, and then each boss fight is kind of its own thing. And the bosses have a ton of personality. They all talk mad trash. They're all kind of modeled after 80s kind of stuff, like just like you'll see posters on the wall for The Thing or for Aliens or for Blade Runner. It's just completely steeped in that era of sci-fi action.
Nice.
In a way that if you love that kind of stuff, this game is definitely for you. It's a really cool game. It's a super cool game.
Awesome. Sounds fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's only like $20.
What was it called again?
Showdown
on Switch and
Showdown.
PC
and Switch. Nice. Sounds like a great Switch game.
It is. It's a very good Switch game.
Yeah.
It's a little hard to play in portable mode because the characters are a little small. It can be easy to lose track of like bullets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Huntdown. Sorry, did I say Showdown? I meant Huntdown.
Oh,
It's called Huntdown.
Huntdown. Awesome. Well, I think that's probably going to wrap up the episode here. I know there's a lot more stuff to talk about. Like there was a Star Wars game announced, and I know you've been playing Among Trees. We should save that for next week, right?
Wait, what Star Wars game was announced?
Squadron.
Oh, Jesus.
It's the Jar Jar Binks special. It's Star Wars Jar Jar Binks expansion.
It's
there you go.
Jar Jar's Big Adventure.
Jar Jar's Big Adventure. Yeah.
Yep, it's great. You get to pilot Jar Jar, then you get to be a Sith.
I'm just gonna make him jump off a cliff over and over again.
Yeah,
watch him die.
What you do? You have a net, and you have to go catch midichlorians, and you have to get enough of them to jar them up, and then you create powers with it. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that stuff next week. And that's SideQuest, guys, right?
SideQuest complete.
Complete.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Really appreciate all the support. Shout out to our Patreons and our Twitch subs and everyone watching on YouTube and the podcast, Spotify, all that stuff. We appreciate all the support. If you want to find more of me, go for it. What were you saying?
I've been thinking about on Patreon starting up like a game club where maybe we can get kind of like a little group together on the Patreon talking about like one game a month where everybody like kind of plays the same game and then we all get to talk about it maybe in like a group chat on
like
Patreon. So
club,
let me know if you guys
for
be
games?
interested in that. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
So let me know if you
this.
guys would be interested in doing something like that. You wouldn't have to do it every month, obviously, if if we picked a game that you didn't want to play. But let me know if you're on the Patreon and you'd be interested in that. Let's talk about it and see what we think.
That sounds really cool.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Briar, where can people find you?
You can find me reading messages on Patreon, apparently, and
Nice.
on Twitter. And you can find me making a fool of myself on Friday night for the GCX stream.
That's right. Yeah, we got a GCX stream coming on up Friday night, and it's going to be interesting since we're still finalizing some of our incentives. But I'm looking forward to that, and looking forward to everyone coming out and showing support in there. Eric's, where can people find you?
You can find me over on Twitter at Eric's, and YouTube. This week actually is EA Play this week as well, so expect some more coverage and some stuff on some games.
Oh, what day is that?
Yeah. Squadrons is probably in there.
I believe it is the Wednesday or Thursday. One of those two. Yes. Sorry,
awesome.
That's not very helpful.
I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts.
And I am Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter and catch my streams twitch.tv/TeftyTeft. That's going to do it for the show. Thanks for watching, everyone. We will see you next week.